In the bottom right-hand corner of the map, we have the blue Protoss player coming out from the land of Taiwan. He is one of the biggest ballers to come out from that island. He is a master of the Stargate, at least from what I remember. We have, representing Clan Rush, it is ButAlways.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the red Zerg player, the Hong Kong Zerg player, representing Team GP. It is GogojOey. GP.
Now, we did just finish up casting or watching some of the Southeast Asian Zerg players, Ender, Miomaika, and we touched it a little bit on Demi as well earlier on. GogojOey does not quite fall under those categories. He's not overly aggressive the way someone like Ender or Demi would be, but he does like to take a couple more risks. He does like to, try to look for openings and go all in with it if he can find them. But yeah, I find it kind of difficult to really categorize GogojOey sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Like Miomaika, he has unique like styles and compositions. And Demi, he loves his spire. Like there is something that you can like, oh my, the sprays, look at them go down.
Just stop.
Oh my god.
ButAlways is saying right now.
Yeah, going into this, by the way, ButAlways, he did say Z Imba in the lobby chat as we were getting into this. But GogojOey, I would say that he can, like, when he sees an opportunity, he can be very aggressive. He can be like very all in at at any moment. We can have a link flood coming out from him. And I feel like that's what we've seen Pez struggle a little bit with.
Yeah, he just has this flip in his brain. He sees one little crack in the wall, and he says, now to hold down the Z key and flood everything.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that before. And ButAlways, I'm honestly pretty surprised he is going for a Stargate opener. Yesterday I casted him.
You're surprised about him going for a Stargate opener?
Yeah, yesterday I casted him.
Did we watch a sick player light?
Yeah, yesterday I casted him with Jet, and every single game he went for a Gateway Forge delayed cannon rush into Stargate afterwards. Like every single game against Yoga, and it was interesting to see him, try and make that work. It was so odd. I've never seen anyone do it before, but yeah, a little bit more standard today.
Yeah, does not want to transition into that Stargate, instead just going right for it, right off the bat. Gonna go for the more common Void Ray into, I imagine, Oracles as his opening.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, ButAlways, if you remember, he's the crazy kind of player who is willing to go double Stargate. He thrives on double Stargate. So this first Void Ray, like once it takes out this Overlord, we'll see what he decides to throw down.
Yeah, I definitely remember about a week before the patch for these Void Rays, or before the Void Rays got buffed, ButAlways decided, you know what? I'm just going to prepare for that. I'm going to go with double Stargate, mass Void Rays, and it's actually going to be a Phoenix follow-up coming out from this Void Ray. That is interesting.
I got a big question mark right now in my face. Like, typically you go Void Ray as the replacement for the Phoenix, right? To deal with the Overlords. Instead, we have a Phoenix first, and then he's throwing down a secondary Stargate. Mate, he's going mass Phoenix.
All right, my brain is trying to process this right now, Light. But you are right. Normally, what is the point of getting the Void Ray instead of getting the Phoenix first? I mean, maybe the Void Ray does kill Overlords a little bit quicker, but honestly, if your plan was to go mass Phoenix, you may as well just get a head start.
Yeah, I guess he's just trying to throw GogojOey off like his scent, right? And now we have the Void Ray being a little bit annoying. There is an Overlord that's sneaking into the main base. It is possible that it could go all the way and scout. I mean, like, it would at least scout the Phoenixes if they go and attack it.
It definitely would. Void Ray literally on the verge of dying. Actually, 1 health left.
Jesus.
Just needs one more sneeze from these queens. And okay, the Phoenixes do move out right now, but GogojOey will be moving in.
Yeah, he does.
He should be able to see the Phoenixes in production.
Yeah, he does scout both Stargates. He sees the Phoenixes in production. I like that ButAlways, he sent his Phoenixes across the map to avoid the Overlord as much as possible to deal some damage. But in the end, they did get scouted. And we'll see what GogojOey's response to this is, because yesterday, Yoga, he went very Hydra heavy, and ButAlways struggled a little bit against that with his you know, mass Skytoss style. We'll see how GogojOey does here.
Well, I think Hydralisks are the proper way of doing this. 6 drones went down somewhere. I'm gonna assume 2 in the depth or something.
Oh, yes. I mean, there were 2 adepts that went through. I was just keeping an eye. I'm surprised that these Phoenixes, they haven't gone in quite yet, but they do decide to dive on in. And, I mean, there's only a single spore.
Yeah, there is only a single spore at the moment. Queen looking to get lifted at any point. 5 more drones go down, and some Overlords are in a lot of trouble right now. Like, GogojOey gets supply blocked. I do not see Hydras coming to his rescue at any point, but the Queen Cavalry does come in to chase these Phoenixes away. Not quite enough of them to lift every single one of these Queens.
Yeah, definitely. Like, these Queens, I mean, a little bit of creep spread is lacking connecting the main base to the natural, and that could come into play, but we do see that the Phoenixes are quite low. Another one, oh, almost got sniped out of the sky.
Yeah, barely surviving. That Void Ray still around somewhere looking to get something done. There are more Spore Crawlers here, and ButAlways is going to have to realize that. Backs away. Decides not to gamble.
Yeah, and the big question is like, how fast is ButAlways' transition going to be? Like, how much damage can he get done, and how much time can he buy with these Phoenixes? As behind this, he is going for that charge. He's probably going to be going for Storm as well. That's what's his go-to to help deal with these Hydras.
Yeah, taking a little bit of notes from yesterday, realizing what went wrong with him, and it was those Hydras and trying to deal with them. This is going very, very well for him, though, for ButAlways. 8 more drones go down. GogojOey completely supply capped. And again, no creep here connecting the bases. There's no way for GogojOey to easily deal with this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, 8 drones, so many Overlords as well, and there are none in production, so GogojOey is going to be supply blocked, and there we go, 4 Overlords in production.
Alright, hopefully he doesn't lose them to the Phoenixes. He is keeping that back at home, which is what we like to see. And yeah, GogojOey just trying to build up a bit of an anti-air force, getting that Hydra count up, but he's been forced to remake these drones so many times before light.
Jesus, so many going down.
He's just picking them apart.
Yeah, honestly, like, even if ButAlways loses all these Phoenixes, like, I feel like the damage has been done. Like, enough Overlords, enough drones. And again, the transition is on the way. I will say that the downfall of ButAlways was that yesterday he did rely a lot on High Templar and Storm. But there wasn't a lot to buffer, and he even avoided Archons as well, and because of that, like, the Zerg army was able to get on top of everything. But we do see he's adapting. You know, we even have the Fleet Beacon on the way.
Yeah, I can't imagine we'll be seeing No, what am I saying? We are going to be seeing Ionic Pulse. We are going to be getting that Phoenix range, aren't we?
Do you think so?
But
because he stopped. Yeah, he stopped Phoenix production.
He did stop the Phoenix production, but when you have this many in the air, I figure you may want to just get it regardless. Either way, I feel like ButAlways' endgame army is going to be with carriers rather than these Phoenixes.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see.
That's the thing, right? Like, how fast is ButAlways going to take up? Because if he starts, like, carrier production a little bit too soon, then he won't have enough army on the ground to, you know, hold against all the Hydras, sorry.
That he won't, but he will have enough Phoenixes to deal with all of these Queens. Hydra's coming in, and it's just killing me right now. Like, I'm looking at that lack of creep between the main base and the national base of GogojOey right now. He put down a creep tumor earlier, but I'm not sure what happened. I guess, maybe the Queen just got lifted before it could put it down.
Yeah, feels bad, man. Oh my god. And there it is. We see the carrier production immediately starting from ButAlways. And I mean, again, if he's able to buy time with these Phoenixes, it's going to work. It takes a while for the carriers to come out, but if they do, then they do pack quite a punch. The Phoenix is even getting more damage done.
Wow, this is absolutely brutal. Looking at this light, 11 more drones go down, and GogojOey just cannot keep up with the Phoenixes. Sure, he's starting to thin out their count now, but as you say, the carriers are already out. A lot of chargents here that are really going to look to put the bruising on these Hydralisks. Just look at the army supply difference. GogojOey cannot get an army up in time.
Yeah, this is gonna be huge. Like, all these Phoenixes, the carriers to support, or all these Chargelots and Archons. I'm not too sure. I don't believe Storm was researched, as he just would text straight into the Fleet Beacon, so there isn't that AoE, but regardless, like, this is a pretty scary army.
It very much so is. I wonder why he's not getting the Archons on those two. Okay, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, I was wondering
turned Archons.
I was wondering the same thing.
Maybe he's anticipating the infestors, because GogojOey is going into his infestation pit, which honestly I feel like he kind of needs to do that. He needs this Hail Mary of quickly teching up and trying to get something done.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, a couple of run-bys, not getting too much done.
I mean, the
But
run-bys...
always, I'm just looking at this army.
Yeah, the run-bys kind of run into each other, but this is a massive run-by. There are so many zealots here, so GogojOey, he does respond. He doesn't have baiting speed. He doesn't even have baiting speed on the way.
No, he does not. This is more of safety banelings. And honestly, ideally, best case scenario is these charges run right into the banelings, but you are right. Centrifugal hooks does help a lot, regardless. And GogojOey, I feel, may have just enough here to hold if you can target down the carriers. Very good use of the force fields, but the sentries are just about out of energy. And GogojOey won't be able to chase us down, but will be able to at least deter it for a moment, get himself some breathing room, build up another army. His hive is about to be finishing.
Yeah, I was about to say that GogojOey, honestly, his army can go toe-to-toe with that of ButAlways, just because there were only 2 carriers. Oh my god, they got left alone! No!
Oh, they got left alone and target it down. That is a massive investment from ButAlways, just taken out like that. Bailing speed going to be finishing up here from GogojOey, and can he turn this completely around? Has the pendulum swung into his favor?
I mean, we'll see. There is definitely potential here, especially because 2 carriers were taken out. There is no Storm, there are no High Templar. Oh, but the CC with the Phoenixes!
Yeah, it is looking fan-freaking-tastic. Zealot count is starting to get thinned out, though, and GogojOey may have just found himself an opening. This is still a very beefy army coming out from ButAlways. The battery overcharge has been used up.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, that was so close. Like, there were no more interceptors left for the carriers. Like, if GogojOey had just a little bit more army supply, he would have been able to break through. But ButAlways, he stood strong, and now 2 more carriers have joined the fray.
Indeed they have, and they can snowball really quick here. Like, carriers, they are a unit that scales pretty well, if I do say so myself. Zergling's just about missing that Warp Prism.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to be seeing a big bailing run by. Meanwhile, we do have ButAlways pushing out with this army. I'm a little surprised that he's pushing out with this without the help of that War Prism. He's not going to have any reinforcements. He's relying on the War Prism to harass. Yeah,
trying to go for a bit of multi-prong here, which honestly I don't mind so much. GogojOey has a very finite army at the moment. It cannot be everywhere at once. He has to fight with everything! Banelings will find their connections and does bring ButAlways down a peg in terms of the economy, and that's something really important when you're going for this Skytoss army, ain't it? Like,
yeah, definitely. Like, that economy helps so much just because of how mineral intensive these carriers can be. Meanwhile, GogojOey, again, the lack of creep spread is hurting him. Like, these spores, they're in position, but they may not even be in position to help against the Warp Prism just because they're not at the edge.
No, they really aren't. A couple of Hydras will deter that Warp Prism getting too much done, though. But that does mean that these are 4 Hydralists that won't be helping out, and honestly, they can just get CC'd by Phoenixes here.
Yeah, definitely. We do have the Phoenixes coming in to help support that War Prism, to help deal with some of these Overlords. Maybe, you know, create some fog of war so ButAlways can utilize that later on. But, oh, here are the Hydras that push him away.
Yep, that they have. GogojOey now well aware that ButAlways is expanding further on. And he is supply capped again, but he's getting so much done with these Banelings. Another 12 probes, 18 probes go down. And with that, so has the prospects of ButAlways' late game economy, I feel.
Exactly. We've gotten to the point where, look at GogojOey. He is maxed out. +3 attack is on the way. 200 supply. Still going for these run-bys, and without Storm, I think that's the big thing missing, right? Like, if ButAlways had Storm, then maybe he would be okay. Without it, it's going to be so difficult to fight these Hydras.
It very much so will, but that's still a decent amount of carriers out right now. They are full on not infestors, the other unit. Interceptors, that's the one. But I'm just looking at the mineral income right now for ButAlways. Like, heck, he really cannot afford to lose even a handful of those interceptors.
This is hurtful because at the moment, ButAlways is losing these Archons without the support of the carriers, so he's just losing a little bit of supply, and soon it's just going to be the carriers naked without support.
That they definitely will. Interceptors are going down left and right. ButAlways getting a little bit of mineral income right now, so he will be able to remake those, but how long can that last is a question we all have, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Here we see GogojOey. He has retreated back to his base. We have a bit of stacked defense here, some spores, some spines as well to help defend, and yeah, ButAlways, I feel like he needs to retreat here. He can't engage into this.
No, he definitely cannot. He just does not have the zoning potential available to him.
Hmm.
If he did have that storm, that's the one thing on my mind right now. And now
Yeah.
that you've brought it up,
Yeah,
storm,
definitely.
it would zone out the army so much.
Yeah, it's so odd to me because it's not like Miyamika who like doesn't make banelings. Like, ButAlways, he had Storm yesterday. Like, he was using it to great avail. Like, it was working so well for him. Not well enough to win his series, but like it was pretty close. And here, it's just nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, he just went the exact opposite direction. I'm gonna get Archons, but no storms.
Oh yeah.
Yesterday we were just like, I'm gonna get storm but no Archons.
Pretty much.
So I'm hearing it.
It's one or the other for ButAlways, and now he loses his northernmost base. He's down to 4 Nexuses. I say that like he's down to 66 workers as well. To be fair, GogojOey, his worker count isn't that amazing either. Like, he is lacking gas like at his newest bases, and maybe that's kind of holding him down. I say that he has a decent bank.
Yeah, he definitely does. GogojOey really doing the balancing act right now of using Lings as a mineral dump while also not getting too many gas-intensive units. Just waiting for him to be able to really utilize his Ultras, or potentially Corruptors. +1 flare weapon's going to be finishing up pretty soon, and I feel like GogojOey has realized, okay, I need anti-air that's better than Hydras.
Yeah. Typically, you want to get like a mixture of the two, right? You get Corruptors and Hydras to help deal with the carriers. Meanwhile, oh my god.
All those probes backed into a corner, but always really overestimating the power of his setting defense. Another expansion canceled, and this is ButAlways going completely all in.
Yeah.
And I cannot say I see it working out for him. Interceptors are going down. He just does not have the money to really remake those.
Oh yeah, we'll see. I mean, again, as you were saying, the interceptors are starting to run out. No storms available, so these High Templar, they're just adding in their auto attacks, but it looks like there may just be enough with the Archons, with the carriers to push through.
All I've got to say is wow right now, like, but GogojOey is spending his bank, and he will be getting a lot more Hydras, but is that going to be enough? I highly doubt it. I feel like ButAlways has just about found the right timing to smash right into GogojOey.
Exactly. GogojOey, he was doing such a good job at hindering the economy of ButAlways, but ButAlways the entire time, he didn't care about the economy. He was working on this one core army, and with it, he just pushes across the map, kills a hatchery, kills another hatchery. There's just nothing to stop it.
No, there is not. Interceptor count getting higher and higher. GG is called, and ButAlways will be taking game number 1. What a back and forth series you've got here.
Wow. He did it. He did it without storms. He did it with almost pure carrier Archon. What a guy.
What a guy going on right now. And man, I have not much more to say about that other than what a tug of war we had. You know, how back and forth was that game?
Exactly. And we'll see how this goes throughout the series, as we are going to be going on a short break.
See you then. And we are back with game number 2 of the elimination match of Group B, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau, Mongolia, Japan main event. And after that, such a back and forth game number 1, Light, I cannot wait to see what we have here on game number 2.
Yeah, I cannot either. Again, like, that was such an interesting composition from ButAlways, but I mean, in the end it worked, right? Like, in the end he was able to just steamroll his way through. It didn't matter that his 5th base kept getting denied, that he kept losing probes left and right to all these bailing run-bys. At the end of the day, GogojOey, he just didn't have enough, like, of a main army to really contend with all those carriers and Archons.
Exactly. If ButAlways waited just a couple minutes more, or even a couple seconds more, I feel like he would not have been able to win with that push. But he went ultra focus mode, Light. He went ultra focus mode. He realized this is my window. This is where I go to take it. And in the end, he did. But we'll see if he can close it out here. On Oxide LE, we be oxidized, we be breathing, especially over here in the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner map. We have the Reds coming out from the land of Hong Kong, the 2nd most winningest player of the Grand Platypus Open in 2020, although apparently teamless from what I'm getting at here. He is GogojOey.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Taiwanese Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Clan Rush. It is ButAlways.
Now you could say that GogojOey had a really good hold back in the previous game, as you know, messy as it may have looked, had a really good hold. But as always, ButAlways found the right time.
Yeah, I mean,
look, and this is look. I cannot cast these events. I'm gonna be real honest with you, Light. The punt potential for these Taiwanese players are massive. We talk about Korean players who have the random English names as their monikers, or random English words, I should say, as their monikers. It gets kind of worse in Taiwan.
Yeah, just wait until next week when we're going to be casting time. That's going to be lovely. Doing that again.
Look, I'm just going to call him Paynon from now on.
It's fine. I don't blame you. And I mean, a shout out to Cynical and the people over on Liquipedia, as they did notify us that GogojOey, unfortunately, he is teamless. He is no longer on Team GP. I'm not too sure when exactly that happened, because he's been on Team GP for a long time and there wasn't like a big announcement. But apparently they got in contact with the team owners, so yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Like, GogojOey, like, he's been doing well this year. Like, he's been definitely, like, I want to say peaking when it comes to his StarCraft 2 like skill anyway.
Yeah, definitely. He's been looking better than he ever has in the past. I would say I mean, as you mentioned, he's been dominating Grand Platypus Open for a while, recently getting overtaken and recently bleeding a little bit, showing a little bit of his vulnerability. But honestly, this is the best that we've seen GogojOey in years. And yeah, I think a lot of us were kind of hoping that with that pickup from Team GP, he would just continue to improve more and more and more. But I feel like it's a situation that a lot of the the newer Chinese-ish teams kind of face.
Yeah, definitely.
In 2020, just couldn't really sustain their players.
Yeah. So I hope that does change in 2021. He is deserving to be on the team, but before that, he has to get through his opponent here in ButAlways, and ButAlways once again going for that Stargate, going for that Void Ray.
Yeah, and I definitely hope that GogojOey is going to be able to adapt to it this time. He did really well in that previous game when he didn't know what was coming for him. So hopefully he's learned a thing or two. That said, I think it's also on ButAlways to realize, all right, I'm up against GogojOey. He probably knows how to adapt. I'm going to adapt as well.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, in a best of 3, like, once you use a strategy and you win with it, you could definitely argue that, like, hey, like, I did it once, why not do it again? Like, until my opponent can adapt to me, right? But you're right in saying that, maybe he could do something crazy. He could go Storm. He could do something crazier and go for a second Void Ray.
All right, another Stargate coming into play. This is the ButAlways I remember casting last season, Light. This is the ButAlways, the Prince of Void Rays. We should be calling him.
Definitely, and the thing is, I'm a little bit concerned because I feel like the Masked Phoenix is part of the reason why ButAlways did so well. Like, I honestly, I should have looked at the units lost, but he killed countless drones and overlords and even a couple of queens as well with the amount of phoenixes that he had out on the map.
Yeah, that's it though, Light. He did stop at that second Void Ray. ButAlways is, well, he's a stylistic player, and part of that is that it is difficult to predict what his next movements are going to be.
Yeah, so I like this. He is going to those mass phoenixes. I definitely approve because he did so well with them in the previous game. This time, I'm not too sure what prompted him to go for these double void rays. I imagine it was to make sure that he wasn't scouted, unlike game one, right, where he was scouted. This time, the Overlord made it through, but it's hard to tell whether or not GogojOey was able to see the Phoenix.
I don't think he saw it one bit there, Light. The Void Rays were very quick to take that out. And yeah, I'm just looking at the production tab right now. Hydra Den is on the way, but Spores, they seem a little bit delayed. Okay, more and more of them are starting to be made here for GogojOey. Absolutely what you want to see against this.
Oh yeah,
Fuses
definitely.
come in, but there is transfuse available on some of these queens. Will delay ButAlways is harassed for quite some time.
Yeah, and I love this. Like, with the added Void Ray for extra DPS, like, the Phoenixes, they come in, they CC the Queen, and then the Void Ray's just gonna down, just like so.
Like we see here. I'm also liking how, you know, ButAlways is utilizing these Void Rays as well. Phoenixes, they can't shoot buildings. They're really good against bio units, but they kind of fall apart when they have to face buildings. So Void Rays are gonna be a little bit annoying there.
Oh my god, this is disgusting. I love it as well because, like, you pick up the queens with the high energy and they go down. One Void Ray falls, but how many queens have already fallen? Like 5 queens have gone down, 6 are going to be going down. Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna say about 80% of GogojOey's anti-air has been taken out over there, and there's something else that I think we should point out, Light, is that because ButAlways, well, one, he's getting these fleet beacons, but because ButAlways has been crowd controlling these queens here and there and forcing GogojOey to use those transfuses. Once again, what do we see? We see gaps in the creep spread.
Oh yeah, big, massive gaps. One even connecting the natural to the third, another connecting the main to the natural. I will say that ButAlways is playing this very differently. He didn't go for a Twilight Council, he's not going for charge, he's not relying on any kind of ground army. He's committing heavily to that Sky Toss with that third Stargate, with that fleet beacon.
And the carriers have already, well, I guess they haven't arrived, but they are in transit. And with that, GogojOey, I feel like he's getting pinned into a corner here. That said, it did feel like that as well in game number 1 before he was able to go for a massive hold and then a huge counterattack. But we shall see. ButAlways, he's having a lot more time this game to build up his Sky Toss count.
Yeah,
and eventually he'll be reaching critical mass before GogojOey can do anything, really.
What I will say is that so far this game, ButAlways, he hasn't dealt anywhere near as much economic damage as he did in game 1. But that is because he prioritized killing the queens, right? Like, that's where his focus was. It wasn't on the drones. So far, only 8 drones being picked off here. Like, previously, like 20 plus drones would have gone down by now. So kind of a different focus in regards to where he's putting he's applying his aggression. And we'll see how that works out. Again, I'm a little bit concerned because GogojOey, when you see all these Phoenixes, typically as a Zerg player, you expand a lot faster because the Phoenixes can't do anything to hatcheries and spores being turned down.
No, they really cannot, and GogojOey taking a bit of a delayed forfeit there. What do you think, like that? Maybe it'd be worth it for GogojOey to just be more greedy at this point? Go for a double expand?
At this point, like, you're right in saying that the 4th is incredibly late. Just go for a double expand, right? Like, you need the gas, especially because you're going mass Hydra. Like, you need more than just 6 gases at this point.
Yeah, you need more than just 6 gases to get more Hydras. You need more than just Hydras to deal with those carriers, but GogojOey is wise. He's been playing this game for a while. He knows that it's not just going to be these Phoenixes coming out from ButAlways, so he will be throwing out that infestation pit.
Yeah.
Getting Hive Tech is great. Getting Fungals is even better, I would say.
I'm a little bit concerned. So GogojOey, he's throwing down a Lurker Den, so this kind of looks like a Lurker Hydra Viper, which I would have liked a lot more in the previous game because ButAlways had a ground army. This time he does kind of, but it's nowhere near as committed as the previous game. Like, at the moment, I feel like GogojOey needs like a Spire to mix in Corruptors.
I'm pretty sure his ground army is consisting mostly of sentries right now. Like, he's pretty much just trying to get that zoning potential. Okay, there are a couple of zealots and a couple of adepts thrown into the mix.
Yeah, it's like 4 zealots and 4 adepts. Like, it's like, man, he doesn't care about that, right? Like, it's like,
yeah. Alright, but GogojOey is going for it. His 1-1 is about to finish up, so trying to go for a bit of a timing, but nopes right out of there once he realizes how much time ButAlways has had to build up his defenses here.
Yeah, definitely. He is pulled back. Meanwhile, those 4 adepts did go across the map. 2 drones killed, but look at all this lost mining time.
Yeah, it is absolutely massive. I don't know how much we can really emphasize how important it is for GogojOey to be mining resources, especially gas, especially gas, I would say, to sustain his Hydra-based army. And ButAlways is just completely preventing that from happening. Hydras is starting to come in.
Oh yeah, and right now we're seeing how important it is to have some kind of support unit with these carriers, as these Hydras have so high DPS. They are able to deal with the interceptors, but they are not able to pounce on top of the carriers. And behind this, mate, he's been watching M canning.
Indeed he has. That mothership is now on the way. Can it actually sneak into the main? I hope it does.
Oh boy, I mean, he doesn't even need to. The carrier's already in the main. Like, he's just, oh my god, he's just committing in the spawning pool. Some of the tech is vulnerable at the moment. The hive, oh, he's focusing on the hive.
He is focusing on the hive, and look at all of these interceptors taken out. Look at all the DPS available to it. The Hydras do start to come in, but there's a little bit of time. The hive doesn't go down.
Wow.
It does manage to stay alive, but will these Hydras manage to stay alive? Apparently they will.
Exactly. Again, Hydras, they just absolutely annihilate all of the interceptors. There's only 1 carry with interceptors left. So, ButAlways, like, you need something else, mate. You need Archons, you need High Templar. Even the last game, you didn't go High Templar, but at least you had Archons to help support. Now it's just pure carrier. To be fair, because of the lack of creep threat, because of the heavy Hydra commitment, it is a little bit awkward to get around the bases.
It definitely is. Sort of waddling back and forth here and there, but ButAlways has a much better economy this time compared to game number 1. Those Hydras are looking to get something done. A couple of well-placed parabombs can absolutely turn the tides of these battles.
Yeah, parabombs, or, you know, if he finds an opportunity to yoink the mothership, to yoink a carrier, like, that's ideal for this kind of army. And yeah, ButAlways, I'm just so surprised 2 more targets being thrown down, mate. Oh my god.
This is a heavy commitment to the Armada.
Yeah.
Here's what ButAlways is doing.
Maybe too much. We'll see. We'll see if he's able to pull this off, because we have Flux Veins on the way as well. He's committing to almost every single upgrade he can, but here we go. The yoinks do go down.
Yeah, nicely done over there, but a Viper going to be going down in exchange for that. Another one! Ooh. It is only 1 Viper left here, like, for GogojOey, and it is rapidly running out of energy. There's a lot of DPS here on these Hydras, but GogojOey not trying to fight. He is instead going to be retreating, trying to fight in a better location. And honestly, I don't think he's going to get that. He does have a lot of spore crawlers.
He has no more gas. He's running out of gas. Like, he can barely spend his money right now. He's stuck at 150 supply. He can barely produce anything. He's relying on his spores for defense. I feel like if ButAlways continues to pressure here, like, he could break GogojOey, but he's posturing. He's not really committing to anything.
Yeah, he sees that spore forest. He knows he does not want to take any unnecessary risks here. So instead, just gonna be, oh, this is actually kind of smart here. Like, that mothership is going back on home, and you know why? Let's have a recall. Yeah,
he has a recall available to him in case things get crazy. And oh my god, the hive is so low from earlier.
Indeed it is. Just 1 interceptor is really all he needs here. The hive goes down, and with that, all prospects of GogojOey's late game. And honestly, these carriers, they're just doing so much here. ButAlways just parking them right on top of all the tech structures, and because that hive, it wasn't just a hive that went down there, Light. It was also the lair for GogojOey. He had not rebuilt his Hydra Den. He had not rebuilt his infestation pit.
Exactly, and on top of that, the Spire as well. He had just gotten the Spire, and
GG immediately going to be called here from GogojOey. ButAlways going to have another chance to advance going into that decider match.